Yes, it is causing like that clothing noise. Hey guys, to be honest, I had it's been a while because I had a cord issue. In fact, the cord is right here. It's my Blue Yeti mic cord. If you have a Blue Yeti, then you know that when you place the cord in, it's more likely to bend right here and bend right here, and eventually I was hoping that I wouldn't sneeze in any of these videos today because I don't want to edit that much. I really want to get this to you guys tonight. Just to let you know, guys, I've been working on some videos. I've edited some videos. I've been working on the true crime videos, and I don't like the way that I tell the story, but I think I'm just gonna put them out because I obviously have not practiced a lot of like true crime formatting or like that level of storytelling, how I want to present the story and everything. And I end up giving a lot of like personal commentary in it, which I wasn't trying to, but I just do. And I don't know like how much like people want facts. When I watch ASMR true crime, I don't even care like about the facts of everything. I just am here for the ASMR and more of the ASMR and less of the true crime. And obviously I'm not a journalist, so I don't feel obligated to give you guys like quality journalism. I will cite my sources just so that if you guys actually want to know what's been going on, then you can just look it up by yourselves and like hear the stories and listen to the podcasts. And I will give you like audio formats because that's like my primary source of like most of this information. Okay, so done with that, and I'm gonna pick a date. I think I said Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm gonna pick a date to like drop those so that it's consistent for like the next 1 year or whatever. No, sorry, what? For the next few weeks. Okay, so we are gonna do a story time today. I want to talk about some of my strange roommate experiences, college roommate experiences, and I'm just gonna call them B1, B2, B3, so that you know a little bit about who they are. It's a few different people all put up in one. So, first person I'm gonna talk about is, I feel so strange doing this. If you ever come across this, I don't judge you and I don't mind, and I'm very grateful for you. First roommate I'm gonna talk about is B1. B1 was one of my first roommates in college. I was an international student. I didn't have anything to my name, and she treated me like a sister, honestly. When her dad would come and visit her, she would go and like he would take us to like Dollar Tree to go get whatever we wanted, and I would always get like supplies. They were lovely. She was lovely. She would share stuff with me. I had nothing, I had just traveled across the world. All my life had to fit in like 2 suitcases, so you can imagine. And we were in a very remote place for school, so the only store we could really go to was Walmart, and this was before online shopping was the thing that it is now. In terms of like what can really be delivered via online shopping, and you still had to pay like crazy amounts for shipping. Shipping was still based on like the size of the package and things like that, things that we don't even think about today. So she really was saving grace. She had a story. She was there because she was basically in juvenile detention, and she was, I think, on some sort of probation for juvenile detention of some sort. It's hard to understand because I don't understand the justice system, the legal system enough to understand what was really going on, but I know for sure that she had committed a very serious crime, and sometimes she'll just sit there and cry. And I never really understood what the situation really was. And there were a few things that were strange about her. Like when you'd ask her, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or what do you want to do? she was looking forward to go and live with once she left. And I think our hometown was like maybe 2-3 hours away from where we were going to school, so it was very strange, you know. She said her father was very abusive towards her mother who had passed away, and it was hard to tell when her mom passed away. She would talk about it. She wouldn't talk about it much. She would just cry. And, you know, yeah, she wouldn't tell me the truth of what happened. And I really couldn't maintain a friendship with her. I felt like we were never really friends. And I could never really maintain a friendship with her. And mostly like a social media friendship, because I felt like she was, after she left, so she did eventually leave, and after she left I felt like she was pursuing more of like an internet sensation type of career, and the content she used to post sometimes was very explicit, and I couldn't handle it on my timeline, and that was it. And I didn't think we were friends. I didn't think I owed her keeping her on my timeline. But years later I found out that we had a mutual friend, I guess, on social, and she reached out to him and, you know, made an inquiry about me, and I found that so endearing. And actually she wrote a book about her life and sent it to my own mutual friend, and I got to read part of it. I felt weird reading the book. I know she wrote it for anyone to read, but I felt like I was invading her privacy, because there was a time when I asked her what had really happened. You know, what was the crime she committed? What was she in jail, prison, juvie, whatever for? And she never told me. But turns out it was for accessory to murder, or murder itself. I don't quite understand what exactly happened, and when I was reading the book, when I got to the point of understanding what was happening, I closed the book. Basically the story was that, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of it here. The story was that she was in a relationship with somebody who was you know, into like being a criminal and like getting money out of people, the stealing, robbing kind of people, and he really wanted her to find a target. And when I say dating, I mean, I can't even call it that. He was using her, you know, he was low-key recruiting her, using her. It was just a bad dynamic, and he asked her to lure a guy to her house, so that he could get money out of that person or from that person, and something ended up happening to that guy, and all of them just got into so much trouble. And the crazy thing is she was supposed to be at a family member's wedding, and she ended up, it was bad. It was a bad situation, and it was definitely very evident that she was manipulated in that situation, and she was not as protected as she needed to be for a child of her age. Very sad, very unfortunate. To you. To be clear, I grew up a relatively sheltered life, so that was definitely like shocking. And the truth of the matter is, obviously understanding now, she could have been anybody's roommate, and anybody would have been equally as shocked. Okay, roommate number 2. These are different, like some of them are different. This roommate she was Latina. I think she was from Colombia or Central America, Panama maybe. And she was weird, but not that weird. We got along fine. She was okay. She was dating this boy. He was in doing his grad school, and she was doing her undergrad, and we were both science girls, and we were doing this internship, and she was lovely. B2 was lovely. And her boyfriend, she was that international student who really had that solid relationship and everything. And one of the realities of like that transition of like being a foreigner is that you have to decide what you're going to do with your life, whether you're going to go back, whether you're going to proceed with school, whether you're going to do this, whether you're going to do that. And obviously she had been dating this guy for a long time. She knew his whole family. I think everything that indicated that they were going to get married. And I know that might seem like a little bit strange to some of you guys, but some people do get married immediately after college, so it just made sense that you would think that that would be their story, honestly. And just to add icing, her boyfriend was also a science guy, so I assumed she was smart. I don't think she was not smart. And the strangest thing that ever happened with me and her is we were chilling, hot summer day, done with work, hiding inside in the AC, late at night. She always used to go away every weekend, which was great because I would always have the place to myself. But then this one time, her boyfriend's literally, it's like a Wednesday or Thursday, boyfriend's supposed to come and see her, and they got into this huge blowout argument. And what was so different about it was just, you guys, the difference between who she was and happy-go-lucky kind of person. She was literally screaming and crying at the same time. The boyfriend was basically saying that he didn't want her to. Okay, so they were at the same school in different, like he was doing his graduate class school, and she was an undergrad, and he was basically saying that she needs to find a way to get into the programs at their school. He was telling her to change whatever she wanted to pursue, or make sure that she gets to pursue what he wants her to pursue, like in their grad school program, because if not, he didn't want to be in a long distance relationship. And she was like, what do you mean you don't want to be in a long distance relationship? I came to this country to go to school, and if I do not find the opportunities that I'm looking for where we are both going to school, I am going to go to another school. I am not here to be your girlfriend. And so basically he was kind of basically saying, if you don't get into the school, we're gonna break up, which is like such a, come on guys, such an extreme ultimatum. And this is for a boy who had been dating for 2 years. And I remember she was, maybe it was before the 4th of July, and I remember she was like screaming and crying and saying how unreasonable he was being, and he was just like, I could hear him over the phone. And I just remember feeling like that was so abusive and manipulative and so wrong, and I was hearing it and witnessing it, and I was just supposed to pretend like nothing. So they had this big blow up that night, and then he was supposed to come into town and pick her up basically the next day and everything. And so I met him the next day. It was the most awkward meeting of someone, because I felt like, oh my god, like I had been looking forward to meeting him because I had been developing a friendship with her, and I feel like that, me seeing that side of their relationship and that side of her going to spend like a major holiday with him. Which now that I'm older, I understand that sometimes when you date somebody, you're so intertwined with their family and their life that you really don't have a choice. And that was her dynamic. She had nobody. If she didn't have him, she wouldn't have had any friends, or any family or anyone to spend any holidays with. So she was stuck because her family wasn't there. Friends, well, she didn't have any friends. She didn't get to make any friends. Her life revolved around the relationship, and she was being manipulated. So I met her the next day, and honestly, the guy, he wasn't anything to write home about. He was just a stereotypical scientist, cute in the face, great haircut, trendy modern haircuts, and everything else is regular: t-shirt, jeans, sneakers, nothing extraordinary. And I felt like there were cultural components that were just being neglected in that relationship. I know that the value that most people around the world place on education and the expectation that parents have when they're sending their kids off to go and study abroad, it's definitely not the stereotypical college experience. Go drink, have fun, it's definitely like go make a career and make something out of yourself kind of attitude more. So yeah, that was weird, and we never had a friendship after that. We just did the bare minimum to get by and spoke enough to get by because I guess I knew too much, and I honestly wasn't interested in being friends with her. I was trying to build my own relationship with my bae at the time, so it wasn't even worth it. That was that. I think I am going to do another story time that is definitely like way more juicy than this, but this was just like a collection of like my college roommates, and the strange experiences I sort of had with them. But now that after college, I can say I'm so grateful for all these ladies. They were amazing, and they taught me so much, and they're passionate. If any of the things I've talked about today are a trigger to you, I'm so sorry.